So I just want to actually talk a little bit more about the project. And as you mentioned, Bruce, this all started when Bruce, an art colleague of mine, he gave me a call in the midst of, I think it must have been April, it's the middle of part of lockdown 4 in New Zealand. And we'd been talking about the heightened sort of online commentary and anti-Chinese, anti-Asian behaviour. And he suggested the idea of an art competition as a way that we could respond to this. And sort of we knew this needed to be a community initiative, and from there we began to build the team, connect with the project, support networks and increase those. And also my background's as a researcher, so I started to research the features of what an effective anti-racism campaign would be and write a full proposal for some funding, because that, you know, was a key part of being able to proceed. I guess from my work over the years, the conversations with people, connection with the different community groups who I'll speak about shortly, it brought together a really clear shared kaupapa for this work. And as that, part of it was the positive stance in inviting others to join us. So we invited artists to help through the competition and taking the stand, and engage the public through the original poster artworks and the website resource pages about Chinese Kiwis and responding to racism, and also through the popular vote, so they could look at all the finalist posters and select their favourite one as a potential popular vote winner. And as I started writing about this competition, I actually realised that a lot's happened on the journey in the last, it would have been in July that the funding came through, and a lot has happened, and there's a lot I could talk for hours, but don't panic, I'm not going to. I just decided I want to talk about a couple of the core features about the competition and the kaupapa for this work. And I guess for me, one of those is that inclusion is an active behaviour, the different ways we can respond supportively to counter racist behaviour, such as when witnessing it, asking the person being targeted, even if it's just immediately afterwards, whether they're okay, being an upstander and taking a stance yourself and speaking about, you know, your values for an inclusive society, and also that reflecting and thinking about the diversity of Chinese communities and Asian and other ethnic communities living here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. And I guess another element or key component of this project was reflecting that sense of belonging. So it's negating the othering in terms of Chinese and Asian communities in these kinds of situations, and in particular through the posters. And you know, when part of the winning poster prize is those being displayed nationwide, and it's that idea of communities seeing themselves reflected and supported in those streets in this nationwide campaign, and that idea of Chinese, Asian and other ethnic communities being a part of Kiwi society. So at its core, it's about being a positive national initiative, and it's about being and becoming who we want to be as a society. It's that idea of respecting and conveying a sense of belonging for all ethnic communities. And of course, with a project such like this, there've been many, many contributors, and Ming, thank you for your acknowledgements and thanks. The team, crucial. And I just wanted to mention some of them. As you mentioned, Dunedin-based artist Bruce Maholsky and his wonderful coordination and art direction for the branding and the promotional artworks. When we first started, Phantom Bill Stickers, who are a key sponsor, put out the promotional art posters with the Kiwi, but also some posters that were taking a stand, anti-racism stand, which had a cartoon kind of based narrative, and hopefully you might have seen some of those in the city streets. Unfortunately, when they went in the city streets was when level 3 went into place in Auckland as well. So part of that risk averseness then kicking in when we started thinking about, how much, you know, our planning might go awry otherwise. I think the beauty of the online approach is that contributors for this competition have been nationwide, and it means that everybody can join in this celebration, this ceremony. Yes, and so coming back to Bruce, so his art direction and working with artist Victoria Brett, who actually was the person holding the pen in the artworks. Also, Auckland-based public health researcher and evaluator Grace Wong, and her amazing networks, her amazing connection with the different stakeholders and the key community groups and the different Chinese participants in the community consultation that we did. And just her commitment and contribution through all aspects of the project. Whenever there was something come up or something, because this journey has really had a few twists and turns, she was always there to sort of say, right, what can we do now? Where do we go next? Academic Bernard Gurin, who Ming mentioned as well, his expert research input and valuable perspectives when it came to key process points of this journey. He really was that sort of wise sounding board that we could go to if there was something that was really had complexities in it, and just get his sort of quiet viewpoint to help us make decisions about the next steps and how to approach the next things. Fourth year communication and visual design student Brittany Young, who brought her design skills and that fresh youthful generational perspective to the group. That was fantastic. And finally, in terms of core team members, to Joyce, she's behind the screens of this prize giving, the scenes, and she's using her technical expertise to ensure that we all know what to do. And at our rehearsal earlier this week, she even showed us the magic button if we wanted to instantly beautify ourselves on Zoom. So yeah, it's been fantastic to work and a privilege to work with this team.